One of the more useful events we have in JavaScript is the body onload event, or onload. We can apply it to the window, but for now, let's do onload equals, and we'll do something like show load, something like that. So what happens with body onload is that once the body tag is finished loading, once the closing tag is loaded, that's when the function enacts. So if I were to go in here and do script, like so, and do a closing tag there, and we did function show load, well, initially it'll be easy to show us. We could say something like alert body tag loaded. And when I run this now, I'm going to go ahead and you'll see that almost immediately body tag loads. But what happens if we have a lot of content? Well, I have a website called Project Gutenberg, which is a very interesting site. It has some of the largest books in the world online for free. Basically, if the book is over 75 years old, they'll keep it in this library so you can read it. So I'm doing nothing but grabbing all this text. I'm going to highlight, and it's not much text, but it's enough where we can delay the closing body tag from loading. So I have 60,000 lines right now, okay? And what I can do is have an animated GIF, a loading GIF, before this loads. So watch this in action right now, because right now we have 60,000 lines of code, and we're looking for the delay. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's still loading. And eventually, when that text loads, we will get that alert. So it took that long. It took us, let's see how many seconds. It's under network, and we can go ahead and reload it just to see the time it took to load. So it's, I'll go to network again, and it should tell us at the bottom, this is the number of seconds. 8.8 seconds. So if you're ever curious about how a loading bar or a loading GIF would work, let's try it. We'll have a loading GIF right here, and we'll just see the image and make sure it is functioning. So let's view that image. Super. So this is actually, I need to make sure it's that value. Anyway, what I'll do is I will put it in my JavaScript as a loading GIF. Okay, so all I have to do is go to the top of this page, and while it's loading, right here, I can do something like image source equals, and that's about it. But what we'll do is we'll give it an ID. We'll call it ID equals loader. Okay, so once the body tag is loaded, we'll simply want to make the element hidden. So all we need to do then is document.getElementById by ID, and we'll find loader, and we'll make its style.display equals none. So this is how JavaScript can access cascading style sheets. So I'm actually going to find the loader, the ID loader here, and make its display none once the body tag is loaded. And that's how we can do a loader. So I'm going to my body onload. We're gonna actually, let's do a complete refresh here. Empty cache and reload. Okay, and hopefully that image will show up right away. Of course, it is on a server, so we need to make sure that it loads faster. So this is media glyphy. Let's make sure that there's the loading GIF right there. And as you can see, it's still loading, still loading, still loading. We're waiting. It's once it's completely loaded, it should remove. And there it is right there. So you see that it took 14.5 seconds there. So of course you don't want to see the other values when the loader's there, so I'll make that ID equals content. Okay, and that content, I'll close the span at the end of it. Remember, we're loading 60,000 lines, a book, basically. But it's all about the concept of having the body tag load. And it's a very handy event for things like this. And we'll be doing it a lot in jQuery when we cover its document ready model. But right now, the content, I can make that loader display. This is content. And this display will be block. Okay. So in our CSS, so basically what's happening is we're going to hide the loader and show the content. And that means in our CSS, I'll just do it as a style like this. I can do hashtag content, and we'll do display : none, and that'll block when the thing fully loads. Very, very simple stuff here, but very useful. I mean, I just taught, so basically we're loading it right now, and should start running anytime. Let's make sure this is, there we go. So you see it hid, and then it showed. So there's our loading GIF, and once it loads, we're at 89 seconds. So there's so much loading. It's not honestly a realistic scenario, but at least you can see that the onload event is triggered when the closing body tag finally loads. In our case, it was 60,000 lines away from the opening body tag. And now it's loaded. So that's body